Hey, everybody. So, this is a continuation of what we discussed last week and what we're going to again discuss next week. All right. But what is the particular topic we're discussing tonight, Angie?
So it would be now you're an established salon and you're going to start thinking about employees for the first time. Do's, don'ts, mistakes I've made. I'm sure Denise has made a few.
A lot.
I'm sure Michelle is aware of mistakes when she was a manager that, oh my goodness, we should not have done that.
No.
Discuss that. But first, before we get into that, for those of you that do not yet have a spirited life, I went to get my oil changed. And I know they have really, really crapola Wi Fi. So that means on the phone, nothing. You can't get anything to load. So I'm like, I need a book because I'm going to be sitting there for like an hour and a half. So I grabbed my book. Check this out. It is the perfect height and it bent. So if you're a bibliophile, don't watch because this you'll find this offensive. But it bends. And it fits right in a jacket pocket. And it's perfect. So then when you're sitting there, you can sit there and read your book. And you have it. And then when you're done, right back in the jacket pocket.
I think
The perfect height to fit in the jacket pocket without any chafing and such.
Chafing.
and I think you're safe from most bibliophiles because you're not bending the spine. It is
No,
a soft
dog in
cover
the ears.
book.
There's a rather pronounced bend to it.
There's nothing wrong with a velveteened book. I'm sorry.
That is true.
I do not dog ear. I don't dog ear, but I had to put it in the jacket pocket. So
And I can see Chris is like barely containing it at the moment. And that's because of a we went live discussion.
Uh-huh. That I'm debating on whether or not I just should share.
yeah, just go ahead. I don't
So
even know that
when she
anybody's on
said
that.
it was the perfect height to avoid chafing, she means she can put it in her jacket pocket and it sits right under her boob. So it'll be there under the boob. It's not pinching, it's not chafing, it's not like shoving it up so she looks like wonky and lopsided. It's just
It's well secured.
It is. It's got at least like an inch of clearance because it's not over tall. It's
okay.
perfect height.
I've heard that it's 8 inches by 8 inches, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. I think that's correct. So now Angie has to get out the measuring tape. But anyway,
That's what it says in her ad, Angie. Calm down.
Okay. I'm like, I don't know. Do I have to measure it? I have no idea. I don't know. I can't tell. If it's not under like 4 inches,
Mhm.
that's what my eye is trained for.
There.
No.
Okay.
No. Jesus. I've been single too long already.
And
Christ.
if Angie's
Oh
and
my
if Angie's ex-husband is listening, she's being generous.
wow.
Oh God. Oh God.
Generous. You lied to
Oh.
her. Anyhow.
Oh my God. Ah. Whew.
I can
Yeah.
only
On
be
that
so good
note.
for so long.
Oh my God.
Okay, so maybe we get on topic then now.
Yeah, reel us in.
Now that I've killed Angie.
All right. So, some of the mistakes. Let's start there because I learned the most from my mistakes than I did from my successes because the mistakes are glaring in your face, frying pan, boing, right to the face. So, mistake number one, call references on anybody that you think you want in your salon. And if all they give you is familial or friend references, pass. Just pass. They may seem lovely. Pass.
Okay,
Um,
let me just. I've had employees. Well, Petco had employees. Okay, I had two girls come in at the same exact time, fill out applications, and listed each other as a reference.
Sometimes that's all you have, though. You got to start somewhere.
yeah, but
Oh.
every time I've gone down that road and figured, I'll give him a chance.
Mhm.
It cost me a lot of money.
Mhm.
And
And
usually it was theft.
Hmm. Also, this didn't happen in the grooming world, but this was a true story that legit happened. Even if some herbal indulgences are legal in your state, do not hotbox with the application in the car if there happens to be a paper application.
Fair.
Mhm.
And if
Because
you have a medical card, that doesn't give you the right to partake while you are working.
Mhm.
because
That
I
is
also
that's an
true.
swear
at-home,
Right.
out of the salon kind of thing.
we could have rolled up and smoked this app. And if, yes, it was a paper application, if that tells you how long ago this happened, but we could have smoked the paper and
Mhm.
gotten high because it reeked like that.
Also, I always do a working interview.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Always.
Oh yeah.
Always. Even for a bather.
Yes.
Mhm.
And
So,
pay them even if you don't hire them.
oh, I
Mhm.
Because
always
they're
pay them.
working, right? So many times I've gone
Mhm.
uh, job interviews or whatever. I had one lady even try to take the tip, and she was like,
Mm.
"This is gorgeous. This is fantastic. Here, this is for you." And she just snatched it up off the table, and she's like, "Well, you're not hired. This is just a working interview." And the lady was still standing there. She's like,
Oh,
"Excuse me, ma'am, that's her tip." Like the client had
That's
to tell her that was my tip. Pay
that's
them even
crazy.
if you don't hire them. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the tip should also be theirs.
yes.
Um,
No, I'm not writing anything in a private chat or train of thought. I would never do something like that. Now,
she totally did.
what I want some of y'all to listen to, because I don't want anyone to go, oh, I don't have employees. I'm not going to have employees. And I don't need to listen to these. Some of this stuff is red flags also when you're an employee interviewing.
Mhm.
Like
It's
that,
for
we
you
all
too.
have bad interviews. So as an here's how you, as an employee looking to get hired, here are things to look out for.
Mhm.
Not
Mhm.
getting paid for your time, them
Yep.
trying to steal your tip off the jump.
Right.
I hope you didn't.
No, ma'am. No.
Okay, thank
No,
you.
ma'am,
Yeah,
I did not work there. Uh-uh.
Hmm.
if they're trying to do shady stuff,
Right.
they're going to pull shady stuff. from you.
Right. Well, the reason I do a working interview is one of the first interviews I ever did for a bather. I had a girl come in and she was from the veterinary side and she wanted to see if maybe it was a good fit. She's like, I love animals. So I was like, yeah, I probably like it. So she came down, she did a beautiful job. She bathed the doodle. And my assistant Angie walked her through it, gave her the instructions. She's like, she learned really quick. She was really, really good. She's very efficient. Her handling skills are fantastic. And so that was done. And I said, so what do you think? Is this something you can do all day, every day? And she said, no, I'm sorry, it's not.
Mhm.
I really, I really don't like it.
Right.
Mhm.
I had a person. Yeah, I had
I
people
was
for one day, or their body, like they were getting out of the vet field.
Come
Uh-oh,
back.
Denise.
She's all frozen.
Okay.
All right. So, well, I'll continue on what I was thinking of saying. Um, so I paid her for her time. She said, thank you, sent her best friend who was also looking for a job. And she was great. And it was just like a summer kind of thing. But I knew that going in. And
Mhm.
she was already trained. And she said, it's really nice. And my friend is at another salon. And I'm like, well, I don't want to steal somebody's employee. And she said, well, she's leaving. But she's looking for something for the summer.
Mhm.
So I took her for the summer, and she was a great kid.
Mhm.
She was a great kid, and she did nice work. And because her friend is like, they're really nice, and it's really clean. They treat the dogs nice there, and it sounds like it's better than where you are now. And she came in. She did a working interview, and she did a nice job. She had good handling skills, very sweet, and you know, she thought we were a little crazy with all the cleaning. And she's like, wow, you do a lot of cleaning.
All you have to do though is go, smell that? No,
Yeah.
what is it? Oh,
Nothing.
correct. Nothing.
Smells like nothing, doesn't it? And Angie's like, yeah, because we don't want filth on us any more than we want them on the dogs that we're cleaning.
Mhm. Mhm.
And she's like, no, I really like it. It's just, it's a lot, isn't it? She's like, you're all cleaning. Yeah.
Mhm.
Everybody pulls their weight. And she saw that right off the interview. So this is the expectation. All of us are cleaning,
Mhm.
and that will include you.
Mhm.
And so she was totally on board with it from the get-go. It was good.
I tend to be of the thought that I leave no stone unturned. I will allow anyone to come in for a working interview. And what I'm looking for when you are doing a working interview is not just your skills, but your ability to bathe the dog, ability to choose the right amount of product, your dog handling skills, your interpersonal skills with the other groomers, how confident you are in handling and being around a bunch of women, because mostly, let's face it, it is a bunch of women. Although I have interviewed males before as well. But all those things are what I'm looking for. And I can usually tell from one interview how your handling skills are.
Oh, yeah.
If you're jerking the dogs around, if they're reticent to listen to what you're saying, how you're moving them anatomically, all those things I'm looking for. But yeah, I will absolutely give everyone a chance. I'm of the mind that everybody is capable of redemption and of doing better and being better than they were the day before. But yeah, I've had to fire some people, and I've made some mistakes in hiring people. I've had one bather come in that was so fabulous and so confident and so good. I named her the bathing manager, like she was in charge of that back there. However, her interpersonal skills were horrific. She could not stay professional. Once she got cranked up, she would not ramp down again. She just stayed there, and you'd have to let her go home. Third time's a charm, and I just let her go home for the third time, and I'm like, I just can't. But she was perfect in every other respect. Then I've had people who are not so good with the cleaning and with following instructions, but they're great people. So you just have to weigh out what it is you're willing to put up with, or you think that person's trainable or can get better and has the attitude. The attitude is the best. The salon that I just consulted with, up to being an ultra high-end salon, I'm so proud of them. We chose meticulously. Everyone there loves each other. And actually, it's to our detriment, because when people come in to interview, then if we have an open table and we tell them, we really love, this is our family. We really love you. We care for you. It's scary to a lot of people, and they're like, I don't know how to act with that. You're not yelling. Okay, no, don't yell. If you make a mistake, we just show you how we want it done, and we move along, because it's a learning opportunity. It's not a punishment opportunity.
And also, coming from the interviewee point of view, so many and I know how you mean it,
Mhm.
but so many shops and small businesses use the phrase, we're like a family, and it's a red flag going, you're going to treat me like shit
Mhm.
because we're just family and it's all
Mhm.
right. We fight and yell at each other and blah, 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 blah. So they may go, oh, this is looks nice now.
Oh no, we basically tell
Mhm.
them we don't
Yeah.
yell. We don't yell at each other. We actually love each other. And when they're there all day, and I do ask that they come in for most of the day, have a whole day working interview, not just come in and do a dog and leave. So they
Yeah.
understand where we are with that. We don't yell. We're very kind to each other. We have a good receptionist who takes in the dogs, answers the phone. Like we really love each other because we love what we do, and we want it to be a carefree, if not stressful, but a carefree environment. So, but a lot of people aren't used to that. They're like, "Oh, well, this place is too good for me." No, it's not. You know, when you're interviewing
I
someone, you think that their skill level or wherever they're at is too high end for you because you're not there yet. That's where you want to be. That's where you're going to learn the best. You're going to learn to clean at Angie's for sure. You're going to learn about doing things in the proper order at Angie's. You're going to learn that from her. So if that scares you, that's actually, if I were a younger self and I was going to interview at that, I'd be like, oh, okay, show me how. Show me how you do it. We're looking for enthusiasm. We're looking for
Oh, no.
great attitude. You know, do you want to be there every day? Do you really care about the dogs every day? Or are you going to be that way for 3 days and then start jerking your dogs around and being mad at them because you're not handling them very well? You know, all these things matter.
Jamie
do.
made a fantastic point. She said you can teach skills, you can't teach
Yeah.
attitude.
Correct.
Mine's always, I go off of if they're trainable. I can have like these posts of people saying months and months down the road that they're still not picking up, let's say, bathing or even just your rules as a groomer. They're not going to be trainable. They're so like, within 2 to 4 weeks, you're pretty much doing our thing, right? Like I have grace period in there because obviously you're learning something new, or we train differently, or maybe they have no experience. But yeah, I make sure that I can train them. So they have like in my brain, it's like 2 to 4 weeks. I have to see improvement and that they're living like they're doing our routines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like for my bathers, I will help them develop a pattern. And I don't, there's some basic guidelines, but everybody has a handedness. I'm ambidextrous, but most people are either right handed or left handed, which means they are going to start on a particular side that's more comfortable for them
Mm-hmm.
or less comfortable for them. Everybody's different.
Mhm.
So I will help them to develop that pattern to bring that into line because it starts in the bathtub. That's where the pattern starts. And to the point where I had a dog I had groomed every month for 10 years. And she moved to a new house. They had just built the house. And they, you know how when they build a house, they take up all the topsoil? And it was fall. So it was New England fall, which means it's wet. So she's coming in from going out to go potty, and she's mud. Her feet are mud. And her mom called me up and she said, I don't understand what's going on with her. I don't know if she's just getting old, but she's being really weird about her feet. Has she been bad on nails lately? And I'm like, no, she's perfect. She's literally bomb proof. This dog would do anything I asked her to do. If I told her to dance around on the table in a tutu, she'd be like, okay. And so I said, well, she's coming in tomorrow. I'll see what we got going on, see if she's acting weird. She came in. She was perfect in the bathtub. She was perfect for nails. She was perfect for everything else. She's a lab mix. And so I said to her mom, he said, geez, she was fine. Like, I was rubbing the oils in and stuff, and she didn't seem to have any sensitive areas or anything. And so she was like, oh, geez. And then she called me when she got home and she said she did it again. And I was like, bing, light bulb moment. I said, what order are you going in? And she said, what do you mean? And I said, which foot did you try to pick up first? And she said, well, just whatever foot. It was closer. And I was like, no. Left front foot first, left back foot first, right back foot next, right front foot next. And she's like, hang on. And she went over and she picked up the left front foot and then the left back foot and then the right back foot. And she's like, this whole time she's been telling me, no, you have the wrong foot, stupid. It starts here.
You're not doing it right.
Right.
You're not doing it right. Yes, it's this one first, Mom. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. The dog knows what order they're supposed to be done in, and I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I think a routine is absolutely necessary. If they don't have a routine, I will give them mine. But if they do have a routine, I make them practice that routine every single time if they're having trouble with it. Especially the first thing newer groomers ask, how do I improve my speed? And I see they don't have a routine. I'm like, that's what you work on first. Because once it becomes rote, you don't even have to think about it. And that speeds you up because you're just doing it. You're not thinking about having to do it. So the routine is number one important.
It's not only speeds us up, but the dogs or the cats know what's coming next. They anticipate it.
They do.
Well, that's why everyone hates taking over my dogs because I have it down to, they're so used to having my routine. And it takes me 20, 25 minutes that once they hit that 20, 25 minute mark, for anybody else, they are just all over the place. They're antsy. They don't want to be there. Everyone's like, I hate doing your dogs. I'm like, you just got to do it the same way I do.
Do it right then.
And well, that was the most difficult thing.
Right. That's it. That is it.
Since I gave Andy all of my dogs. And she's kicking butt and taking names with them because her pattern is very similar. So it's not exactly the same, but similar, just the same.
Right.
And so they're doing very well with the transition, but that was my fear, is they're going to be like, wait, what? That's not how this works. That's not how this goes. So, yeah.
Okay. Do we have any tidbits before we get into the weird animal facts?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Before you go and get yourself an employee, take a piece of paper and write down what you feel are the most important things. For me, focus on the pet is exceptionally important. Safety is up here. So for me, if you're going to be on your cell phone and doing Facebook while you're working on a pet, I'm going to write you up. And I know I get a lot of crap for that.
See, and I think opposite.
What is your mindset as far as doing that, Denise?
Yeah. See, my point is that I had an employee who was looking at the phone and not at the dog. And that dog,
my phone keeps breaking up. So I'm
off the table and I caught it.
Yeah. I'm like opposite. I know what I don't want. So sometimes I may know what my favorite is, but then like I also know exactly what I don't want. I think backwards.
Okay, that works too. So write this down and then put it in an employee handbook. Have them sign saying that I understand these are the expectations. Because for my employees, you are welcome to use audio, like audiobooks. You can have one headphone in because I only have one working here. You can have one. Listen to a book, listen to music, listen to whatever you want. That's fine. But if someone is calling you because they need help, it's an emergency, I want you to be able to hear them. So you can have your cell phone near you, but if you are on social media at any time and you are not on break, I'm writing you up. And 3 of those, I'm sending you your check. Have a nice day. So you can do your music, your whatever. That's fine. You can do through your watch, through your cell phone. I don't care. But I want you to your focus on the pet, because I'm doing this while the dog is on my table, and that dog goes da, 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 da. Not cool, man. Not cool. Not cool at all. And even though the dog was on a trach saver and not on a loop, still not cool. I'm still not okay with it. So yeah. And that's my biggest thing is safety. I don't care if that is your dog. It will be on a loop or a trach saver in the tub. I don't care. If it's my dog, your dog, I don't care if it's the Pope's dog. It's going to be on a loop or a trach saver in that tub. And that's in my employee handbook. These are some of the rules that you must follow, because safety for me is paramount. Because I see too many posts from groomers going, oh my God, my dog broke his. I'm sure you guys probably remember this. I actually cried when I read that post. It was her dog. She went to answer the phone. It was a border collie. He was exceptionally well trained. He had been groomed his entire life. The dog was like 8 years old. Mom took too long on the phone. He was not looped, and she walked away. First of all, that's a big no-no. We all know this. But he jumped out of the tub and he broke both of his front legs. That broke my heart. And then there was a bather that did the same thing with her own dog. And I don't recall the breed of dog, but that dog was looped. And he died. Because
I've also seen them in several different salons. They'll try to leave the dog or turn their back on them without somebody else watching and go and rummage around in the shampoo cabinet. And little dogs tend to spin when they're looped. So he spun himself out and choked himself out, basically. We had to unroll him. It's when I was teaching at another salon. And my eyes weren't on that. My eyes were on showing the person in this tub, what we were doing, whatever. I turn around and this dog's like, I'm like, okay. I said, whose dog is this? Who's responsible? So when they're looped, they're just as fragile and just as compromised as anything else. So just because you don't put a loop on them doesn't mean they're safer. When they're in a tub environment, like most accidents, even in the human world, happen in the bathroom. Because it's slippery. They're slippery from shampoo or conditioner or whatever. There's all hard surfaces because we all like a nice facility that we can clean easily. So there's lots of hard surfaces and jaggedy edges to catch yourself on, tear skin, break bones. You have to be careful. You have to know that animal. If you have to leave for whatever reason, there should be somebody back there, eyeballs on the dog.
Yeah, within hand's reach. And the other thing that I do in my salon is everything has a quick release. So in the tub, and with a swivel on it. So if you have the little blind, deaf, senile Yorkie that's like
exactly over and over and over
that does the spinny McGee, and you're like, sweetheart, if you just hold still for okay, but they're on a swivel. So they can spin and spin and spin till the cows come home, even, on that trach saver, and it doesn't get, so everything's got a quick release, because I had a lab Great Pyrenees mix go down in my tub. And it was fate. That's all I can think of, because the week before, I'm looking at the quick release on my table going, you know what? I got to get those for the tub. So I went down to the tack store and I got the quick release for the tub. And sure enough, when that dog went down, the bather just went thunk, and he was free. Like he went down and she yanked it. And he never even there was never any tension for him to choke.
Mm-hmm.
So a quick release in the tub with a swivel bottom. You can get them at any tack store. Just bring the loop that fits in your table, whatever you call that.
The hook, the hole, the hook, the eye hook, the whatever it is.
Whatever the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bring that, because not all quick releases fit
Yeah.
Will
in
fit in
all
the
things.
now. Angie, for those of us with corporate PTSD, you are not talking about Velcro.
Excuse me?
Oh, you didn't know that. You're talking about a piece of metal that you clamp
Yes.
open. You're not talking
Yes.
about
So
a
it's
strip of Velcro.
no, the top looks like this. It has like a little hook like that, and it clamps. It's a metal thing.
Yeah.
You use it for horses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it clamps into the metal, and it's got a swivel here to hook the
Yeah.
leash or lunge line or the leash to. And so when you pull it, it pops free.
But you
So
have to
should
hit
the
something
horse
and
rear, you don't go dink and break every bone in your body.
but do you have to hit something for it to release, or if
Just pull straight down.
you pull
literally
straight
just
down? Okay.
And that's it. And it just goes whip, and it pops out of the thing. It's a metal, it's called a quick release.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that has helped me because for 27 years, I did the giants.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes the giants, even though my table is literally like this high off the floor, they go, I'm going to go see what she's doing. And it's like, dude, but when they weigh 250 pounds, I can't stop his momentum.
Right.
But I can go and pull that quick release, turn the boat around, and bring him back up on the table. And by the time I do that, he's forgotten all about what you're looking at over there. Because newbies are lovely, but they're not super.
There's a lot of ones with buckles as well that you just squeeze and it releases as well.
Yeah.
So those work too, as long as you have something that can relieve the pressure off the neck area or whatever piece of body you have looped in, so they don't injure themselves.
So, and as an aside, before we do the quick facts, I got this today. Isn't he handsome?
So handsome.
So if anybody needs pictures of a skeleton, this is a canine skeleton. If anyone needs pictures of a canine skeleton for anything, I can help you. I will do that for you.
Nice.
Because that's why I got him. Because you can't get certain angles when you're looking for pictures of structure online. So that's why I got him, is to teach, to show that. And so if anyone needs these for a reference for your employees or
Sweet.
for you or for a class or whatever, I would be happy to get that for you. If you're like, oh, I really want to know about the shoulder. I want to show her how that's put together. I will help you, because now I have him, and he is very handsome, and he needs work.
He needs work.
He needs work. He wants to be of use. He wants to help the people. So
Okay.
all right. So Tina said we used them in the horse trailer because we had a crazy mare that went flying out backwards at 90 miles an hour. Quick release are lifesavers. Yeah, it's you literally just, and it's free. And all you do is you just give it a snap, like straight.
Okay. So weird animal facts.
Yes, please.
Angie's Weekly Weird Fact.
So sheep have amazing vision because they're prey animals. And their pupils are rectangular, which is pretty wild. They have 270 to 320 degree vision. Humans only have 150 to 155 degree vision. And when Woodrow Wilson was president from 1930
Angie's Weekly Weird
to
Fact.
1921, they were the landscapers and they mowed the White House lawn for those 8 years. They did not have a crew come in. Woodrow Wilson's sheep, those were his sheep. They took care of all of the property and mowing the lawn for those 8 years. Jennifer, I will post a picture of the quick release from my table. I'll show you the one I have in the tub. The one in the tub is much larger simply because I bought the wrong size for my table. That's why I'm saying take your loop with you to the tack store to buy the quick release, because I bought the wrong size. And the one I bought is lovely. It's galvanized, but it didn't fit in the hook on my table. So I was like, well, boogers, because this was like $8 for this silly thing. So what am I going to do with it? Because I have it and I'm not going to drive all the way back to the tack store, which is like an hour and a half one way, to return it for $8 because I'm going to spend that practically in time and gas.
Mhm.
I didn't put it in the tub. Boop. So I put that in the tub. And then I went to the hardware store down the street and said, by any chance, do you guys have? And he's like, weirdly, yeah, it was a mistake order. And so I did bring my loop and I was like, hey, that fits perfect.
Mhm.
And they both have the swivel on the end, because when you're moving a horse, you want to have that free rotation,
Mhm.
because otherwise you could get stepped on and out.
And ow, yes.
All right. So next week will be part 3, and hopefully Denise will have better internet, because we're going to talk about having multiple employees.
Having multiple employees or multiple locations. And Denise has both.
Mhm.
The most employees I've ever had at one time was 3.
Mhm.
So, but she's got like piles of
Mhm.
piles of employees.
I've had 8 at one time under me, but I've never had multiple locations of sets. So that'll be interesting to hear what she has to say about that.
Okay. So we'll see everybody next week.
Thank you. I'll post